There can never be any euphemism to describe what Kimani Ichungwa has done to Rigathi Gachagua, rather than saying it plainly that he has betrayed his brother. All politics is local, and all politics that we play in Kenya is ethnic based, whether we deny it or not. We are slowly trying to run away from it, but it is still here with us. Every ethnic group in this country has got a spokesperson or a kingpin. Until that changes, and it changes all round, it changes holistically, so that when you look at all the tribes, you realize that we are playing issue-based politics rather than ethnic-based politics. We will still say that Rigathi Gachagua was betrayed by his brother, because it was Kimani Ichungwa who was shouting on top of his voice. In fact, it is Kimani Ichungwa who had advised William Ruto that there is a snake that he needed to kill for him to move on in as far as governance of the country is concerned. This will haunt Kimani Ichungwa, because many people are saying that we agree that Kimani Ichungwa must have spoken words that were tantamount to being a tribal leader. But in essence, when you look at what the president is doing, the president is practicing what Rigathi Gachagua is talking about. So who is worse between them?
And I'm telling you, Mr. Speaker, actions speak louder than words. The deputy president may have said that he is a shareholder and there are issues about his community, but if you look at the appointments that are being made in Kenya, then you will realize that the person of the president himself is the one who is the biggest tribalist, Mr. Speaker, because he's appointing people from his own community for every position. Mr. Speaker, if we have to find a situation where a school has failed, you do not fire the deputy principal. You get rid of the principal. Our problem is not the deputy, it is the head.
When the history of Mount Kenya shall be written, Kimani Ichungwa will go down in the annals of the history of the sons and daughters of Mumbi as one person who betrayed his brother, and he was used by William Samoei Ruto to bring about sibling rivalry, because that is the kind of politics that William Ruto has perfected: divide and rule. It is the same thing that even William Ruto did to Rigathi Gachagua when he set him up and charged him against his brothers like Uhuru Kenyatta, something that Rigathi regrets to date, and he has stated as much. But Kimani Ichungwa is attracting several enemies, especially from Mount Kenya, both from leaders and the locals. And they are saying that what Kimani Ichungwa is doing is wrong, and he will have to pay for it.
Na ndio tunaambia Kimani Ichungwa, tafadhali asiguse mlima. Na nimuulize, Wakikuyu walikufanyia nini? Ukapiga Uhuru Kenyatta, ukapiga Moses Kuria, hata gavana wa Kiambu ulikuwa umeongoza kupiga. Saa hizi unapiga Rigiji. Ama sio wetu huyo kijana? Ona ni uliwaigwa moto kweta kwa Ichungwa. Ojiona tisugwa. Sisi tunamwambia akome.
I never fear. Hakuna kifo kimekaagwa. Kifo ni kifo. Me I never fear. Kifo ni kifo. Tumana ni kujiwe. Badilisha mwendo. Badilisha mwendo. Wachane na Rigathi Gachagua. Ndiye neke murora ni na Rigathi. Wachane na Rigathi Gachagua. Nori okoigua nori oko amokinyerie. Mimi simuogopi na kaa kwake. Kikuyu. Opposite police station ya Kikuyu. Mimi siogopi, nikujie ndani ya nyumba. Mimi sizeeki ati nikatairiwe, na zeeka nikufe. Siogopi. Mko na speed sana. Tuliwe alafu mnasema ati muongezwe security. Security for what? Si mseme mupewe Kenya polisi yote yenye iko Kegajo. Mupewe mpaka GSU na KDF yote. Iwe inalinda maisha yenu. Kule maneno atoma wete security. Modo mwana watamira vyepuke. No atoma wete security for what? Me I tell you, wabuge nyinyi wote, munakaa chini, munainukia Rigathi Gachagua, chama ni you, na siogopi. Hapo ni ya Kikuyu, siogopi. Na mwenye ananitaka kuja aulize OCPD wa Kikuyu ataoneshana kwangu. Siogopi ama DCC, siogopi. Ukiguza mlima, ujue ukiguza mlima mbele yake kuna mtaro.
I've got a feeling from where I sit that come 2027, people like Kimani Ichungwa and all the members of parliament who signed and voted to take Rigathi home shall regret, because the common man seems to be with Rigathi Gachagua, but those leaders, the elected leaders, are playing into William Ruto's trap. Once William Ruto is done with them, I can assure you that they will be abandoned, because William Ruto seems to be looking away from Mount Kenya and is looking towards the Western Kenya, the Luo Nyanza, Kisii, Nyanza, Nyamira, Kuria. He's looking at Western, he's looking at Coast, and most likely there is going to be an alliance. If you read the mood of the leaders from Raila Odinga too, because we can listen to people like Wandai saying that they will support Ruto in 2027, there's a likelihood that there's going to be an alliance. So what William Ruto will do, he has used the members of parliament from Mount Kenya, and they have voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Come 2027, most of these people like Kimani Ichungwa are looking up to Ruto maybe to appoint them in several positions once they are voted out, because that is exactly what will happen. But who unto them, because William Ruto might find himself between a rock and a hard place. If he goes towards the west or the western country, the western part of the country, and he gets the large share of votes there, the new alliance will lock out people like Kimani Ichungwa. They will not get the prestigious positions that they are in. For example, I'm sure if Mudavadi, Wetangula, Raila, and all this political class decide to unite and they get the presidency with William Ruto in 2027, Kimani Ichungwa cannot and will not be the next leader of the majority. So once he's been voted out, he's not a member of parliament. The best he will get, if at all, maybe he can be voted. He can head some parastatal, if I'm not wrong. I saw what happened in Nakuru, where Susan Kehika, things were moving on well until she mentioned she was reading Ruto's message of condolence in one of the funerals. The moment she mentioned William Ruto, the crowd went into a frenzy mode. They did not want to hear anything to do with William Ruto. And most of the members of parliament who voted to kick Rigathi out had trouble containing that crowd, because people are tired of William Samoei Ruto. And so the members of parliament from Mount Kenya who voted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua will live to regret, because they have a day with Wananchi. They have a day with the people of Kenya. Remember, this is not the first time they are messing up. The Finance Bill 2023 and 2024, they voted only to regret later. And some of them were saying, like Wamaua, that was the member of parliament called Mawamaua, was saying that the Finance Bill 2023 was so voluminous that she could not read it. So she just voted, confirming that these people are only working for the executive arm of the government. They have become a rubber stamp. They ratify everything that the president wants. When we sent the members of parliament, they went there as our representatives. They should be representing us. They should be passing laws that are intended to what we want. But what they do is that some of them are paid, some of them are intimidated, some of them are in bed with the executive arm of the government, so that instead of serving us, they serve the wishes of the executive. The truth is, the mountain is not very happy with the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. And we have said this, that yes, Rigathi Gachagua might have messed. He behaved like a true tribal leader. But who is not tribal? That is the question that many people are asking. Many people are practicing it, whether at the ward level, whether at the constituency level, at the county level, even at nationally, in terms of appointments. And therefore, if you ask me, Rigathi Gachagua needed to be not impeached, but essential motion, where he would be called Like what happened? You remember the motion that was taken by Mungatana to the Senate, and they censured it. Rigathi Gachagua needed to have been told that you are a national leader, and we are giving you a yellow card, or so to speak, and we are giving you a warning. You need to carry yourself like a leader, a national leader, because let's face it, who is this leader who wants to pretend that he does not protect his people? We are playing local-based politics. They call them my people. Raila has his people, Kalonzo has his people, Ruto has his people, Rigathi Gachagua has his people. Even at the world level, you'll realize that when you reach at the world level, sometimes we even play local politics where this clan and that clan, my people. Everyone who has tried to antagonize their spokesperson or their kingpin has always fallen by the wayside. Ruto himself cannot allow any kind of opposition. Look at what they are doing to Keter. It is on record that Keter won the UDA nominations, but Ruto could not give him that certificate. Why? Because he's opposing him. In Luo Nyanza, we have seen people like, even people like Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, James Orengo, both of them are governors now, but at some point they tried to antagonize Raila. They could not, because every ethnic group decides that we want to have one kingpin. Try to antagonize Kalonzo, and you will realize that on your own, because they have decided that most of the Kambani, Kalonzo controls it. Even in the coast as it is, an ODM zone, they still listen to maybe perhaps Joho. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Kimani Ichungwa will regret, because what he has done is to betray his brother. He is being used. How I wish that he should have been at the forefront protecting Gachagua. But what they should have done after protecting Gachagua, they would have had a closed door meeting and they tell Gachagua, tafadhali, unatuweka katika hali ngumu ya kujaribu kukufanya nini? Kukulinda. Try and become that sober leader. Because power gotten into Gachagua, that I agree. But he was also protecting his people. Kimani and all the people who betrayed their brother must regret it, because that is something that you will not get in the other regions. Being or having a position of a deputy president is not very easy in an environment that we have, because I understand that even now several communities are now trying to struggle. The Ruto is under pressure. Give it to us, give it to us. Yet they were hoodwinked and they were cheated to take away this from their own son. What if William Ruto decides that because of the interests that are so much intense here, vested interest, I want to take a neutral party, I want to take Aden Duale? Mount Kenya must be warned that if they play around with the power that they have, they might regret it. It might be years before they get it. And again, I want to repeat that Rigathi must try, if he survives, to portray the image of a national leader.